y'all, it's Megan. Welcome back to the channel. Glad y'all are here today. It's gonna be a busy day, y'all. First thing this morning, I had to come out here and move the cows on over to the next spot. Look here. I will tell you, which we, granted we've had a lot of rain, and there's still some bare spots, but this right here was so poor last year. And this could be better, it could be. But this is the best we've had in a long time anyway. Look at this. Been a long time. And there's several spots out through here like that. Now, we're gonna let the grass reseed itself, I think. I think we're gonna let it completely, the seed heads dry off, and I think Andy will eventually bush hog it, but I'm tickled with how it looks. I'm tickled with how my cows look. What up, Mr. Bull? It's gonna be a beautiful day today. So, next thing on the list is I'm gonna make some beet pickles. Now, that's something I have not made in several years. I'm the only one that eats them. Actually, last time I made them, the kids weren't even old enough to try them. Maggie was probably not even here. And I just quit making them because they wasn't all getting eaten and so on and so forth. But I decided this year I am going to make me some. And while I'm making the beet pickles, Andy needs more pickled eggs. He loves pickled eggs for a snack. I eat them too, but Andy loves them. And so I've got to make, I'm going to make some more of those, and I'm going to add in some of my juice from my beet pickles to make those kind of pickled eggs. And I don't know, I feel like there's something else I'm supposed to be doing today too. We'll just see. Well, I'm glad to have this thing back. Come on, baby. See what I can find. These beets are like super duper thick, so I ain't expecting a whole lot. But I did see some the other day that would be good for beet pickles if I can find them. And then maybe to give room to the rest of these here to grow. Yeah, there's a good one. Right there. Look at that. Make my life a little bit easier. I'm gonna go ahead and... Now when you're doing beets, so they don't bleed out too terribly bad, try to leave you some space on those greens right there. That helps a little bit. I got a bucket over here for my greens. Oh, that's a good one. Yep. Yeah, that'll be a good one for pickles. There's a good one. I don't like them if I'm making pickles for them to get much bigger than this. No reason really, I just like the smaller ones better. There's one. That one's about too small, but I done pulled him up now, so oh well. I remembered what else I was aiming to do. I've got a few cabbage heads out here that I need to pick. The ones that aren't doing that great out here in the raised beds. I say not doing that great, y'all. I can't complain. I mean, they're not as big as the other ones, but I got a few of those I need to pick. The signs ain't right to make kraut, but you know, it just is what it is. I want to try to make a little kraut. I'm going to try a way I've never tried before. If you watch Celebrating Appalachia, I'm going to try her way of making kraut, because some years my kraut does great, some years not so much. So I'm going to try that way. I've never made it that way. And yeah, let me get a few of these picked before I get rained on. It looks like the storms may be here a little sooner than I thought. The sky's sure getting awfully cloudy and dark. I've got me some water boiling over here. I'm just gonna rinse off my beets. And we're just gonna drop them into that boiling water, just like that. Don't worry about getting them spotless. Just do the best you can. Because we're gonna peel these anyway. Gonna keep an eye on this, make sure all our beets stay under the water, and we'll let them boil until they are fork tender. I actually left several plants out there, and maybe now that they have some room without these, they may make a little bigger beet. If they don't, they don't. Waiting on those to get tender, we're going to start chopping some cabbage. I got another pot of water going over here. That's going to be for my eggs whenever that gets going, because I'm going to make some pickled eggs. I can't remember if I've already said that or not. I'm going to make some pickled eggs when I make these beets. So first thing I got to do is get my cabbage chopped up. One more that is one more beautiful head of cabbage. Wow. All right. I'm just going to chop a little at a time and add it to my bowl here and just go from there. Now, I've already soaked it in salt water in case there were any creepy crawlies hiding somewhere that I didn't see them, and that usually helps get them to come out. I do the same thing to my broccoli. world somebody can chop up cabbage without making a terrible mess is beyond me. I ain't figured that out yet. But I got all that cabbage chopped up. My beets are ready. They're fork tender. So now I'm ready to dump out this hot water. And we're going to cover them with cold water. Alright, we'll let them cool off. So before I get started on my kraut, I need to get my pickling mixture going. So the first thing I need is 2.5 cups of vinegar. This is just plain old white vinegar, 5%. A cup of sugar and some pickling spice. Let that sugar melt. And now we'll get started on our kraut. So one thing to be sure of is that you've got clean, sterile jars. And we're going to start off, again, this is not my recipe. I learned this from Celebrating Appalachia and wanted to try it. Two teaspoons of salt on the bottom of our jar there. And we're going to start adding in our cabbage. We're going to want to mash that down pretty good in our jar here. Now, we're going to add a teaspoon of sugar. Right to the top of that. And we're going to cover that with water. You do it kind of slow and let it kind of work its way down in there. Then we're going to take a lid and a ring. Put that on there. And we'll just repeat that process till we're out of cabbage. I got to get my beets peeled and in my jars. So for my pickles, I'm just going to put, I think, the little ones, and we'll just see how far that gets us. You're going to want to cut off that root. Cut off that top. Once you do that, watch this. That skin just slips right off of there. Just pretty as you ever seen. When you've got good, smooth beets, most of the time that's an easy thing right there. Sometimes you run into naughty beets and it's not that simple. And this is a great thing to do outside if you have means of doing it outside. This is one of those things I wish I had somewhere to do it outside. Beets are pretty messy just because of their purpleness, which that's also what makes them so good for us. So we're not going to complain about that. I ended up with 2 jars of kraut. Now what we'll do is I'll take that out on the porch. I'm going to let it sit out there and work for a couple of weeks. And what that means is fermentation. we call it working. You know, you gotta let your kraut work. And so after a couple of weeks, I'll taste it. And I'm excited because if this works, man, it don't get no easier than that. And I'll be sure to link her video to this one. I want to give credit where credit is due. I may only have enough for this one little jar here, and if I do, that is perfectly fine. I feel pretty accomplished today. Aww. And if once I start getting to the bigger beets, I'll cut them up in smaller pieces. But I love these little ones for the pickles. And you talking about good. I love to eat these with a bowl of pintos or some potatoes or some slaw, or all three sound good to me. But you do want to make sure you get that old skin off. I'm going to put a few in there with my eggs to give them that pretty purple pink color. I make pickled eggs all kinds of ways. Now see, this in here is getting a little on the big side, so I'm probably going to cut that one in half. That's a little big for me. Now that should be water bath for around 30 minutes. Go ahead and add my beets into my eggs. And then what I'll do, you can see that it didn't fill it up all the way. I've found with these pickled eggs that the more vinegar, the better. I like the vinegariness of it though. So what I'll do with this is I'm just going to top it off with the rest of the way with some white vinegar. There we go. All right. Them eggs will be ready in a couple weeks. Same goes for the beet pickles and same goes for the kraut. So hopefully, if I can remember, in a couple of weeks, hopefully I will bring you back and let you see what all this looks like. Which, I mean, of course, the beet pickles ain't going to change much, just the flavor of them. Now, it came a good shower of rain a little bit ago. Now they're calling for, like, heavy thunderstorms. So, I got to go feed my critters. I will come back. One last thing I want to do while I've got my cabbage, I need to wrap some up for the fridge, and I am going to make some slaw, and we're going to call it a day. It has been, I feel pretty productive today. I enjoy days like today. Like, I know some people say, that poor thing. That's what my granny used to say. Poor thing just works all the time. Well, listen. It ain't work if you like what you're doing. And fooling with this stuff, making the kraut and the pickles and the eggs, this is my cup of tea. This is what I thoroughly enjoy doing. While everything already cabbage mess that comes with chopping up cabbage, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to make me my version of slaw. So, this is not like what I consider, I call it deli slaw. I guess you would call this like a, what do you call it, southern slaw? I don't know. I don't know what you call it. But I know slaw is different in different places of the world. So this is more of like a, it's got vinegar and all the good things in it. I'm a little funny about my slaw. So I'm going to show y'all the way that I like it. And slaw is my thing. Like, I could I love slaw. I love slaw about as much as I love potatoes. That's saying something too. So we're just going to chop this up just like we did our kraut earlier. And that's about a half of a medium-sized cabbage head. I just kind of eye it, y'all, and just see what we need. Taste it. That's how you make good slaw. Taste test. I like my slaw pretty coarse. If you want it finer, you know, chop it finer or stick it in your food processor. But I do. I like mine kind of coarsely chopped. I like the big pieces of cabbage in it. But that's just me. A lot of people don't like that. Alright, for our slaw, we're going to start off with a big heaping spoonful of mayonnaise. Make sure you're using the good mayonnaise. It makes a difference, I'm telling you. Do a little mayonnaise. I'm going to put us in a little milk. Oh, a couple tablespoons maybe. Things like this, I'm terrible at recipes. Now, if I have cultured buttermilk, I will add that in. I don't have any. I've just got my buttermilk from making my butter. So I'm going to do a little bit of sour cream. Not much. A little bit. Put in some apple cider vinegar. Probably a good 3-ish tablespoons. I'll taste that and make sure that's going to be enough. Some salt. I like a good helping of pepper in mine. There we go. Some sugar. That was around 1/4 of a cup. Onion powder. And if I have some fresh carrots, I'll cut those up. And I would go out there and pull me an onion, but everything's soaking wet now. So let's mix all this in, and then I'm going to taste it and see what it needs. I'll also look at the consistency of it. I can tell a lot about it by the consistency. I've made it so much, you know. It's just one of them things. You kind of know what it's supposed to look like once you get it all mixed up. You want to make sure that mayonnaise is kind of on all your cabbage pieces. Let me give it a try here. Make sure I get it. And of course, slaw is one of them things. After it sets for a while and everything, that sugar dissolves, it's a little better, but you can kind of tell if you go ahead and taste it. Fabulous. Very good, very good. I'm actually going to add me in just a little bit more. A little bit more vinegar. I'll stick the lid on this. Stick that in the fridge. And I'll eat on that until it's gone. And I need to make some more. Well, Andy just got home a few minutes ago. And we've got to make us our Tractor Supply run that we do every once in a while. That means Megan gets the night off from cooking supper. So, after all this fixing and cooking today, I think I'm ready for a night off. Last but not least, the only thing I've got to do, I'll wrap these cabbage heads up in some plastic wrap or either in a Ziploc bag if I can get them to fit, and I'll stick them in the refrigerator till I'm ready to do something with them. My plan for those are, they keep really, really good in the refrigerator, so I may keep some for my chow chow. This is what I always run into every year just about. Chow chow needs cabbage, but it also needs tomatoes and peppers. And y'all know as good as I do, them two things, they don't come in at the same time. So, I ain't decided. I may fix these and save some of the later ones. We'll just see. We'll see what I decide to do. I probably will make a little bit more of that kraut, though. I have a feeling that's going to be good. So anyways, guys, hope y'all enjoyed today's video. Hope you might have learned a little something. Enjoyed spending some time with me. It's always a joy to share with y'all. And anyways, guys, till we see y'all on the next one, y'all have a good one.